Hello, Frog fans. Welcome back to Postgame Beers Podcast. We are the Lupton Drinking Club. I'm your host, as always, Kyle Malloy, joined by my co-host, Jacob Sailors. We've got Ray Cartwright here tonight. We've got a solid crew to break down a very successful 4-0 week for the Horned Frogs, something we had hoped for, had honestly expected, but maybe didn't expect. I don't know, because things are weird with this team. So it's fun to talk about a winning team. It's fun to talk about a team on a streak. Won 5 of the last 6 or whatever, and including comebacks against DBU, against Houston, which we'll talk about on Saturday. Fellas, how are we feeling this beautiful Monday?
They averted disaster for a week, so feeling good.
I'm feeling tired, MK. Dude, I literally just got off work like 45 minutes ago. To rush home, walk the dog. Started to rain a little bit. It's been nonstop.
All right, so we've got averted disaster and we've got tired. High energy here this evening.
Yeah,
let's go.
Nobody wants to hear about anything going on with me. I'm ready to talk frog ball.
All right, before we get to that, how do you feel about the Cowboys draft and what they pulled?
Supposedly, it's a great draft. People I trust tell me my opinion, so I'm gonna roll with it.
MK, I was studying my board all weekend, looking at the big board. I had the big board set up in the living room all weekend, going through it, and I give the Cowboys a solid A.
Excellent.
I mean, dude, all just future starters, up and down, all 7 rounds.
Do you think there's anybody out there who trusts us to be their, voice of reason for Frog Ball USA?
For Frog Ball, yes. For NFL Draft, not a chance.
Agree with that. All right. Are we just jumping into this? You just want to jump in and get ready?
Just get on in. Let's get in.
We're about to roll the clock over to May, so we got to get serious.
Yeah, this is
time for fun. It's no time for fun, only time for baseball.
It's time to lock in. I told my kids, I said, how many weeks of school you got left? They said 3. I said, okay, straight A's here on out. Let's do this.
Only 3 weeks? I swear elementary and middle school and all that lasted
that's not right.
Like after Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, we're before.
It was kind of
Memorial Day was always summer break.
Yeah.
You were never in school on Memorial Day. There's no way. That was like the official kickoff of summer. You'd already been out of school for like a week, and then you hit Memorial Day.
Dude, Jacob, didn't we graduate in June?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the graduate ceremony? I swear
May was for TCU for sure.
But that was like a million years ago. So
it was.
Who could really know? Who could possibly know?
It was.
When I looked at the remaining baseball schedule of only one midweek game left, which is this Wednesday, Bark in the Park.
And hopefully it gets canceled.
We'll talk about that. 3 series left. I thought that was what I was like, I feel like it's midseason. It's not. It is not the middle of the season.
No, dude. We've only got one more home series, one more home weekend series left.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, it goes fast. It's a short season.
All right. Let's jump into our last home series against Houston. The worst team, after this weekend for sure, but they were the worst team before that in the conference. Friday night's game, Baumler actually went his longest outing of the year at 5 2/3. That was good to see, only giving up a pair of runs. Meanwhile, the Frogs offense scored in every even numbered inning. I don't know if you guys care about that stuff, but I thought it was fun. It's the Mark Cohen stat of the pod, the 2nd, 4th, 6th, and 8th. And that was led by 2 homers and 5 hits combined between Nolan Traeger and Jack Bell, who had a nice night behind the plate. Houston made some noise in the 9th inning, but Seguski came in and struck out 3 guys in a row, and that was it. That was the end of the game. So, fellas, I didn't get a chance. I had some family stuff going on Friday night. Tell me about the game on Friday.
It was a pretty relaxed atmosphere out at Lupton, I think. The Frogs handled business. Like you mentioned, Baumler, it was his best start of the season. So it was a good time for that. Because, this Houston team coming to town, you got to say, you have to have 3 wins here. But then again, we just said that a couple of weeks ago when Arizona came to town and they lost the damn series. So a bit of, all right, I'm hoping we sweep them, right? So it was nice to see a solid pitching performance and offense doing, 8 runs, nothing to sneeze at against Friday night pitching from Houston. Holton Griffin setting the tone at the top of the lineup is something we haven't had much at all this season from anybody in the leadoff position. So you can see what difference that makes in the offense when your leadoff guy's going 3 for 5. So Nolan Traeger continuing his hot streak, pitching in, and then Jack Bell had a hell of a series. He got that going on Friday night.
Yeah, it really wasn't like so. Colton Griffin was outstanding, right? You said 3 for 5,
Yes.
and then it was kind of rough until you got to that bottom of the lineup. Bottom of the lineup really carried this thing.
Dude, they were hot all weekend. Bottom of the lineup. Yeah, Sawyer Stroh-Snyder, another 0 for night. So
well, I didn't want to lead off with this, but so you had Kramer, Stroh-Snyder, Brunson, and Noah Franco. They went 0 for 15.
No,
Yeah.
Kramer had a hit.
Did he?
Yeah, he had a double that scored a couple of runs.
Maybe I was looking at the wrong game, but anyway, all to say that,
or maybe not a double. Definitely a hit. Scored a couple of runs.
He didn't. He had a single. Yeah, he had that single late. I think it was like in the 8th inning.
what was I looking at then?
Yeah, Cole Kramer, 2 RBI single, 8th inning. Dumped it out into right field.
Okay. Kramer had 1. Okay, Stroh-Snyder has 0. Okay, so I guess take out Coles, but I guess you're 3, 4, and 5 hitter. 0 for.
Yeah.
And you were carried, like you guys said, by Liddington, Traeger, in the back of the lineup. So I don't know what that said. I mean, it's not like they're going to move those guys around. They had a good rest of the series,
No, and sometimes that's baseball. Sometimes it's the top of the lineup carrying you. Sometimes it's the bottom. Sometimes it's all the lineup.
That's what I would love to see.
If Houston was going to get a game, it would have been Friday night, just for the simple fact that we've struggled in Friday nights for various reasons. We haven't had the best starting pitching, at least compared to Saturday and Sunday. And the offense can tend to go cold on Fridays as well. So, it was nice to get that win, knowing you had Lance Davis and Zach James to follow. So, good win.
All right, 1-0 against Houston, brought to you by Anduno Travel and Recovery brand. Fellas, their backpack, if you haven't bought one, pretty fantastic. I use it on road trips and stuff all the time now at this point. Anduno.products on Instagram. And every time you buy something, I feel like they give something back to the TCU players. So check them out.
Yeah.
Really appreciate their sponsorship and all the stuff they've provided for us. So, all right, game 2. Both teams traded homers in the first and I want to say third, I think. It stayed 1-1 until the seventh. In the 7th inning, Jackson Lalima solo homered, bring it 2-1 Houston. At that point, I was a little worried about the Frogs offense because I'm like, I don't know what they're going to do to come back. It was a very frustrating game to watch. Outside of Gamster's home run early on, I mean, the offense was basically listless, and they had they had 1 runner on base like twice the entire game, until the 8th. It was a struggle.
They just kind of scattered hits around. It wasn't, one after another, right?
Yeah.
That brought in. Dude, starting off the game, that was the second game in a row. Cade Climby, dude, that dude was hot. Hit 2 home runs Friday. Man, led off the game Saturday with a home run.
Does it feel like we always have one guy that, whether it's Hairston or, Landon Hairston? Yeah. Just kind of dominates, the whole weekend. And I don't know.
Dominates every weekend.
Yeah, I know.
And Climbey's he's not a bad player.
What, he have 3 home runs on the weekend?
Yeah.
No, but you know what? To that point, though, Trey Broussard is the guy you would expect to give us trouble, and they kind of held him in check for the most part.
It turned around in the 8th. So you had Kramer with a single, Stroh with a double, and then that set up Brunson to smash those guys in to score and go up 3-2. And Chase would actually go on to score. So it was 4-2 before they got to the 9th inning. Most importantly, Lance Davis, again, another quality start. This guy just keeps racking those up. 7 innings, only giving up those 2 homers. And interestingly, Davis, and then he was followed by Nate Stern and then Seguspi again. They didn't allow a single hit with any runners in scoring position. So, again, we keep harping on the success of the starting pitchers in the bullpen, but they keep showing up.
Yeah, and with the offense, you're just gonna have to expect one of these games every weekend. And luckily in this game, you had the pitching bail them out. Stroh, who has been ice cold all month, you get a couple doubles from him, and they were able to cash in on one of them, thank goodness. And that was kind of the difference in the game. But it is a little weird when you look at the lineup and you see every guy had a hit except for 2, and the 2 that didn't get a hit were 2 of our hotter hitters in Traeger and Bell. But everybody else had at least 1 hit. It's just, one of those things where when you're not hitting we keep repeating it. When you're not hitting for power, it takes multiple guys in a row to come through to score runs. So Gamster did have the home run, but
Traeger and Bell had walks too.
Yeah, they did. And that was kind of what held the offense back a little bit in this one was we only had 3 walks.
Can y'all remember the last time the team came together like as a full team win? Not that everybody was hot or whatever.
Let's roll over to Sunday.
Yeah, let's practice after game 3.
I know. Well, I meant before that because it felt like it had been a while. I don't know. Maybe that was my anecdotal. All right.
Dude, before we get on to game 3, let's talk. Dude, Tanner Seguspi, the Goose, has been so freaking nails. Especially the last month.
Was that 2 saves for him?
That was back-to-back saves back Friday. I don't know if Friday was a save opportunity. But no, it wasn't a save opportunity, but he still nails. Yeah.
He's got 1 hit in his last 6 innings.
Well, they left Quinn in the 9th, and he got a couple guys on base, and so they brought in Seguspi, and then 3 strikeouts in a row.
Struck. And that's another thing. Like he's not just coming in and just getting outs, dudes. He's mowing dudes down right now.
Pretty awesome.
I just threw out there.
What's up?
Over his last 6 innings, 1 hit allowed. 1 hit, not 1 run. That's 0. 1 hit allowed.
And how many strikeouts? It's got to be
12 strikeouts.
I guess okay.
Remind me
12
what
strikeouts in 6 innings. So it's obviously 2 innings or 2 strikeouts an inning.
What year is he again?
I think he's a
he's like a grad transfer.
Dang.
No, he's a true senior.
Okay, so maybe 1 year, if that. If
No, I don't.
Probably
I
not.
Plan on him after this year.
Too bad. All right.
Yeah, but no, he's automatic right now. But this type of game with the offense against a Houston pitching staff that is one of the worst power forward, whatever, one of the worst in the conference, and you get 4 runs. They easily could have lost that game, and this is what concerns me going forward with this team is you have 3 weeks left, and you really, we keep saying they got to get hot, but if you're going to have these stinkers on offense every single weekend, it's going to bite you. They go to Oklahoma State this week. They have some arms on that team,
and they're ramping up. They've jumped up, I think, right behind TCU in the conference, in terms of wins, losses, which early on they were way down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got 3 free wins this past weekend.
Yeah, so did we. And one of them we
Um,
almost lost.
Do you guys know which team in the conference has the most homers?
It's in Kansas State.
Yeah, it's Oklahoma State. They have like
Oh, yeah.
45 or something like that.
Oklahoma State has 98.
No, okay. I was thinking conference only, but yes.
Oh, sorry. I guess I should have done conference only. I thought it
Yeah,
was
it's all
interesting.
good.
Frogs
Your
have
point remains.
basically half that, which I'm like, all
Yeah.
right. Okay, is this a concern in Stillwater, which we'll get to on the deep dish, which is on Thursday.
Maybe Friday morning.
Maybe Friday morning. What is the deep dish, you ask? That is a so there's the LDC after party. I don't know if are we doing a thing on Wednesday night during the game, or is that tomorrow night? What's the plan for the Patreon?
Figure that out. We might do the Big 12 pack after the game Wednesday night.
All right, so there's 2 extra pods if you're interested in those, the Big 12 pack, as well as the deep dish, which really dives into TCU stats that we can't get to tonight because we don't have enough time, and also Oklahoma State and what things that we should look for. You've got Jacob and Martin and Ray on that. So if you want to subscribe to our Patreon, $6 a month, that's a cup of coffee at Starbucks, and you're going to get some really excellent analysis. So I'm shouting out that between game 2 and game 3. Anything that I missed there, fellas?
Nope. Let's roll into Sweep Sunday.
All right, Frogs 2-0 on the weekend and going for the sweep. Finally, example of what the Frogs should be doing to bad teams on Sundays. They run rule Houston 14-2, jumping out to an 11-1 lead after the fourth. This game was over early, and it was nice to kind of just relax, to be honest, on a Sunday. The third and fourth crooked innings, they were led by Brady Dallimore. 6 RBIs in back-to-back innings with bases clearing triples, or excuse me, doubles, but basically clearing doubles. Pretty awesome. Jack Bell went deep for the second time on the weekend, had a great weekend. Ray, you said that. And the offense had 16 hits. This is kind of just the ideal of what we were hoping for from the offense this year. We haven't seen it a lot, and so it was nice to see, but also you're looking at one of literally the worst team in the Big 12 going, I'm not really sure how to approach this, but we'll talk about that.
Well,
so Zach
James, I should mention that Roman Ritchie's not a bad arm.
I was going to say, yeah, Roman Ritchie's probably one of their best pitchers.
Right. And they lit him up for 5 runs over a little under 3 innings. And games like this is what makes games like Saturday so frustrating because you know what they're capable of. You know, I'm not saying they got to score 14 every game, but you know, don't make me watch a game where we're down 2-1 against Houston in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's just crazy to me. And there's been so many of those throughout the course of the season and not enough of these.
That's the way baseball go.
All right, let's hold on to offensive thoughts for a second. Zach James, another phenomenal start, but obviously burying the lead. Tommy Lepore comes in for the 6th inning. Man, it was good to see him. He gave up a walk and a hit, but his emotions, I'm actually surprised his emotions didn't overtake him to give up more because he was so intense, on the mound. But he didn't give up any runs. And then, hitting high 90s, like 98, 99 miles an hour. It was awesome. He was gas as always. So
Tommy after the game.
What's that?
Did you hear Tommy speak after the game?
Yeah.
He addressed that very thing where he was like conscious about trying to keep his adrenaline under control so he could throw strikes. So thought he did a pretty good job.
We were joking on Saturday when we thought there was a chance he might come in that the first one's going to be like, it may sail to the backstop and be like 104 miles an hour just because he's going to be so amped up.
If it goes over the kid's head, why not? Let him hear it. I did find it funny that the scouts showed up, and they had to wait like 6 innings to watch him pitch.
Watch Zach James.
Yeah.
My God, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got to be in the lead for Big 12 Pitcher of the Year right now.
Don't disagree.
He's not being talked about very much, I'll tell you that.
Well, It's fine with me. Just keep throwing
Besides
shutouts.
besides the the obvious, like the offensive outpouring, what other things stuck out to you guys in this game?
Watching Noah Franco in the seventh kind of made me wonder if he's a guy that really thrives in high leverage situations. Because it seems like his worst outings are in games like this, where the outcome is pretty much decided.
Hmm.
I don't have a lot of numbers to back me up there, but it seems like when he comes in close games and tough situations, he comes through. You know what I mean?
He wants that extra stress, to
Yeah,
him
I
up.
think so. Some guys are like that, where they thrive off of high leverage. I don't know. Just something I was thinking about. But
couple things I've got. Colton
Yeah.
Griffin, once again,
I know.
that leadoff spot.
What a difference it makes to the offense when your leadoff guy's producing.
Okay.
Dude, leadoff home run.
Mhm.
He flew out his second at bat, and that was hit 50 feet further than his home run ball. But he flew out right against the wall in dead center and then smoked a double. His next
I
at bat.
remember a game where hard hit balls as they did.
Dude.
You know what? They only had the 2 home runs from Bell and Griffin, but some of those doubles they hit, Gallimore and those were some of the hardest hit balls of the year. Who was it that laced the single up the middle, like right off the pitcher's button? Was that
Jack
was
Bell?
that Griffin? I think it might have been Griffin again. But anyway, Stroh-Snyder, who he only had the 1 hit in this game, but I thought it was his most impressive hit in a long time, where he read the pitch dipping, low and outside, and he kind of stayed with it, kept his shoulder closed, and drove it the opposite way for a double. So that was a good sign.
Was that the one that landed on the line and then went out?
No, this one, it was in the left center gap.
Okay.
But if you go back and watch it, you see him reading the pitch and staying back on it, driving it through the other way. Just a really nice piece of hitting that haven't seen much of that this month. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come for him.
You got to think that MLB has just as much. They have the most analytics of any sport at this point, and they're looking at not only how they're hitting, their percentages and stuff, but what they're doing at bat.
Yeah.
And so I'm just hopeful that regardless of his 200 plus batting average, that they're looking at other stuff and they're not worried about that.
Sure, yeah. Scouts will evaluate tools more than stats, but yeah. Would be interesting to talk to a scout, like maybe off the record, about Stroh-Snyder's month or his season as a whole.
I always try to sit behind him in like 105 and just listen, but I don't get a lot of information. They're just, talking garbage.
They're telling the Cincinnati Reds.
All right. So final thoughts on the weekend, obviously hoping for a sweep, did the sweep. Did Sunday bring any more confidence to you that, hey, this team's turning things around, or, is it, hey, wait and see because we got 3 more weekends to go?
I don't know what that means with this team turning things around, because we've seen them have 2 weekends in a row where they play really well, and then they lost to Arizona. So, it's like, that's a good 2 weeks. I'm happy, but let's show me the 3rd week. They haven't put together a 3-week stretch of baseball yet. It's always been 2 weeks and then a letdown, 2 weeks and a letdown. So
before getting into the game-to-game projections, which you'll do on the deep dish in terms of what that looks like in terms of regional seeding, which I'm excited to listen to on Thursday. Let's talk about big picture. So you've got Oklahoma State, you've got Utah and West Virginia. Oklahoma State and West Virginia are both away series. So obviously either one of those would be really nice to have. But what would make you feel good going into the postseason? Like, hey, we're going into a regional, or actually the Big 12 tournament at that point. What would make you feel good going into the Big 12 tournament?
Well, first of all, they have to sweep Utah. That's non-negotiable to me.
Because that's at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would feel okay with 500, 3-3 against West Virginia and Oklahoma State, depending on how the games go.
Okay.
Feel really good if you win both of those series, plus sweeping Utah. So I think anything worse than that, like a loss to Utah or going something like 2-4 against Oklahoma State and West Virginia, you can't feel all that great.
Yeah. Ray, any difference?
No, not really. I mean, what if they just never lose another game?
Yeah, we've talked about that already.
And they go into the postseason like Coastal Carolina last year.
I mean,
we sit at a 3 seed right now, which, depending on from what perspective you look at it, that's good or bad. If you're talking about, where they probably should have been based on their talent, that's very disappointing. If you look at it on the basis of, well, after Arizona, they were in big trouble missing the tournament entirely if they stunk it up against Houston and Baylor, but they did not. So it's like, okay, we're trending up from Arizona, but Arizona was a lowest point of the season that we didn't think was possible when the season began.
Yeah.
Right.
They've
So
beat
a lot of people are feeling good, and I don't want to stop people from feeling good, but being projected as a 3 seed is very disappointing. But you can only look ahead, right?
You beat every team below you in terms of series except for Arizona.
Yeah, which is just crippling us right now. And we should also mention, we didn't cover the DBU game, but that would have been a devastating loss. So it's important they pulled that one out. Just have to note that.
In the standings, TCU sits 5th. Right above them is West Virginia. Right below them is Oklahoma State. So these are like, I mean, I guess it's good that we have these series at the end of the year because we really know what this team's going to do in the regional. But these are pivotal. These are pivotal series. Utah's
to the 2 seed. They have to get hot. They have to probably go 7-3 or 8-2, and in that case, they would be set up pretty well in the Big 12 tournament, and they would probably need to win a game or two there.
Yeah.
Just to ensure they get a 2 seed. The offense still gives me enough concern to where, right now I think they will end up a 3 seed. But I think I'm really hoping that UTA gets canceled, because only bad things winning does absolutely nothing to help them.
I'm going to check the weather.
Losing would destroy any path to a 2 seed. They
It's
can't
Wednesday
afford any
night.
more quad 4 losses.
Wednesday night, MK.
Oh man.
Wednesday night.
Yeah. It's 20% chance of rain. I don't
Forget the
I don't
rain,
think we should
just
risk-
cancel it. Just cancel it. You
know
don't
what's
need
crazy
an
is-
excuse to cancel.
It's
Say,
funny,
we
the
don't wanna
high
play.
the high today is 100. The high on Wednesday is 66. That's Texas spring for you. But
I didn't realize it got so hot today.
It's gonna be chilly up in Stillwater next weekend.
But yeah, dude, there's a path to a 2 seed, but it's destroyed if you lose to UTA.
yeah. So that's the Valley game. What am I talking about? They cancel every year against the Vaqueros. They always have like a 2-game series against the.
They did cancel a game.
What's that?
I don't think they canceled any last year or the year before, right?
No, I don't think they have. I don't think that's been a thing. The last Tuesday game I remember them canceling was they had a weird one scheduled with Baylor, like the last week of the year or something like that, and they canceled that.
I thought it was funny that
Baylor
Oklahoma
was
canceled
garbage.
against Texas Tech. Or we're not dealing with these jokers.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, go for it.
No, I was just trying to think if there was any other thoughts that I'm leaving out.
Yeah. Rotation continue for a while. Obviously, we ramp up Tommy Lepore, so we'll continue with Baumler, Lance Davis, and and Zach James. Any questions about that for next weekend at Oklahoma State?
Nope.
So,
Other than if you wanted to use Tommy as like an opener.
I wouldn't expect Tommy to start. However, with Zach getting a short outing on Sunday, if you were going to move him, this would be the week to do it.
Interesting.
You have Ethan Lund going Friday night for Oklahoma State, who can give us all kinds of fits. And if you want someone to match up with him, who better than Zach James?
Is Ethan Lund a righty or lefty?
Pretty sure he's a righty. I have to get back to you, but
No
he's
worries.
one of the better pitchers in this conference.
Chime into the deep dish on Thursday to find out more.
So if you were going to make a move, I'm not suggesting they will, but it would be a good time to do it. Because you had limited work on Sunday from Zach James, so he'd be more rested than normal.
Obviously, Baumler longest outing, so no concerns there. But
yeah,
it's been funny to have like a bunch of guys on Fridays and then have a solid starter Saturday, Sunday. That's not typical, you know.
Right. So we'll see what they do. Hopefully by Thursday we'll know.
Final thoughts, Ray? Anything else on the Houston series or against DBU?
Just kind of actually, I was thinking about this a lot, kind of big picture-y, and like how this year has gone and everything, right? So came into the year, obviously preseason top 10, and Kirk's message was obviously don't eat the rat poison. Well, I feel like a little bit of that rat poison was ingested, and then they found themselves with quite a bit of adversity early on in the season. No one can deny that. But oftentimes, you know, baseball's a humbling sport, probably the most humbling sport, and it kind of shows what kind of character you have, right? And this team has shown, you know, really throughout the year, despite, you know, some bad results, the adversity to come back and show up, right? And now they're finally starting to get all their pieces together. And this is kind of the team as we get into May that we expected to see at the beginning of the year.
Amen, Pastor Ray.
Yes, but we've played Baylor and Houston the last 2 weeks.
You can only play what's on your
More of those
schedule.
against Utah.
You can only play what's on your schedule.
I'll tell you this.
Arizona was only 3 weeks ago, dude. It's not like, well, we've way overcome that.
Dude, Arizona beat Arizona State like the next day. Like, now that was a midweek game that didn't count for Big 12 standings, but Arizona beat Arizona State the next.
You're not going to fool me with an argument. You're not going to gaslight me into saying Arizona actually good.
I'm not saying they're good. I'm not saying they're good, but they played some good ball. They played well enough to. You can roll your eyes. I mean, it's still a bad loss. No one's denying losing to the 13th place team in the conference. Kind of some weird.
Make the Big 12 tournament, right?
Well, I think they probably will.
I think mathematically they have to.
One game out of. Yeah. They're up one game on Texas Tech to make the tournament.
Texas Tech and Houston are not going to make the tournament, so I would say Arizona is a lock to make the Big 12 tournament. Now they're going to have to play every single day starting on like Tuesday. But they're still
format yet. But have you guys seen the format?
Yeah, like 1 through 5 get like double buys. I think.
Yeah,
6, 7, 8 may get.
This is a new format this year.
And then 9, 10, 11, 12 started off. I'm pretty sure that's the format.
It would behoove you to get the double bye.
And they're in a spot to get the double bye. Although, you know what kind of sucks, though? If they don't improve from 5th place, if you look at the schedule, first game is 9 a.m. On Thursday for the.
9 a.m. for the other team too.
I know, but that still suck.
It's
I'll be at work.
some people have a job.
Yeah.
Well,
and some people have to dress as a clown, so we'll figure that out.
Yeah, let's get Garrett to dress up as a clown.
flying to Arizona.
Yeah, just fly him to Arizona. Dress him up as a clown. Dude, game is finishing. It's like 100 degrees outside.
Jacob, can I
paint's all running.
Jacob, I have a question for you. I appreciate you being the resident realist on the pod, right? That's your job. You do a good job of it. If they win 2 out of 3 at Oklahoma State, are you feeling better, the same, or worse?
He's feeling worse.
Way better. It'll be the first time they played well 3 weeks in a row, so way better.
All right.
He'll send the meme. Now show me the 4th week.
Now show me.
That hasn't been a scenario all year.
All right.
Oh, if they won 2 out of 3 against Oklahoma State and then lost the series to Utah, they would
do that just to give us content.
Dude, they're not losing another game
anymore
this year.
Quad 4 losses, man. They've lost too many Quad 4 games this year. Got to knock it off.
All right, hey fellas, this was
all
fun.
Our Quad 4s have been due to weather.
So cancel Wednesday.
Tulane doubleheader got banged because of weather. Arizona got banged because of weather. I don't know. Is UTA falling down to a Quad 4? I guess since they're at home.
Quad 3?
No, this one would be Quad 4, but the one at Globe Life is a Quad 3.
Yeah. So all their Q4 losses have been because of dumb weather.
Yeah, and one other note real quick. They sit at 41 in RPI, which is definitely a 3-seed territory. That's another reason I want to cancel UTA because, yeah, we're going to get some Quad 1 games with West Virginia and Oklahoma State, but then you're throwing in 4 more Quad 4 games with Utah and UTA.
Why do you hate the Dogs, Jacob?
Zoe's all excited to go to Bark in the Park.
Oh, yeah.
Bark in the Park. Why do you hate dogs? You're a cat guy? Okay, we can talk about that.
Yeah, well, they're doing bits, and that should tell you everything you need to know about the game. They shouldn't be playing it.
Bark in the Park is not a bit.
It's a bit.
That's a holiday. That should be celebrated.
Didn't we introduce that bit to
to
bring dogs to the park? And now we're asking the
precisely that. We introduced that bit. You're right.
Okay, maybe that's why it's so bad. Is the Lupton drink?
No, it's fine.
No.
I go. It's fun. But that game, we're on the bubble here. We don't need to play that game. Yeah. If we were in Kansas' spot, then by all means.
Okay, what if they cancel the game, but they let you and they use Lupton's outfield as like a dog park and come out and throw the ball with the dog, let him run around.
That's better. Or let us take BP and they can shag the balls in the outfield.
Oh, that's the best idea.
Absolutely. That's way better than playing UTA.
Get the guys some BP. Hit the dogs. All right. Hard out, fellas. 7:30. Great pod. Appreciate you guys. Thanks to Long Drink. Thanks to Chinook and Juno. And then obviously chime into the Patreon.
Shout out Coors Light.
Coors Light. Oh yeah.
Gave away some more tickets this weekend.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, giving away tickets almost every home game. Probably have some more for Utah. So if you're still listening, thank you. And if you want some actual seats at the game, chime in. And usually we're doing first come, first serve. So, all right. Thanks, Jacob. Thanks, Ray. Good pod. As always, go Frogs.
Go Frogs.
Go Frogs.